Oh, jam! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TMP Nerf, the TMP buff report. I
Right.
guess. Although there is technically a nerf, so
An addendum to the previous Nerf report.
yeah, so I don't have to make a new playlist on YouTube. Yeah,
That is very convenient.
it is. So, hello, I'm Chewie. Over there is Mike with the better beard. And so last week we did a Nerf report where we reported
Yes.
on the nerfs. And before we get started with anything else, I wanted to talk about just briefly look at a meta snapshot to show you what has happened. So this is the what is this? Tempo Storm meta snapshot rather than Vicious Syndicate, because Vicious Syndicate isn't going to do another one, I don't think, until the buffs happen. When did the buffs happen, Mike?
To, is that also something that's going to be happening tomorrow, or did it happen today, or what? Wait a minute. Just a second.
What? No.
Do.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Okay. So next Monday.
Next.
No, Tuesday.
No, Monday, you were right.
Crap. What the heck day is it?
It is Wednesday, Mike.
Okay. Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Monday's the 3rd.
Yes. But okay, so we didn't talk about the buffs in depth because I wanted to wait and see what sort of new meta we had. So let's do that real quick. Like I said, I went to look up the Tempo Storm meta snapshot just so I'd have something visual to show you guys. So this was the week before the balance patch. As you can see, Tempo Rogue, Bomb Warrior, Control Warrior are tier 1. Tier 2 is all kinds of stuff. Mech Hunter, Conjurer Mage, Mid-Range Hunter, Cyclops Mage, Cyclone Mage. Excuse me. Nomi Priest, Mechathune Warrior, Secret Hunter. All of these were just splashed across tier 2. If we move to a week after the balance patch, where Rogue got nerfed into oblivion, you'll see that the Cyclone Mage is up in tier 1 with Mid-Range Hunter and Bomb Warrior. And Rogue didn't die, but Raiding Party and Wigglestick did. No, what's the name of the card? Wagglepick did. And now a Thief Rogue that uses Spirit of the Shark has jumped its way up to tier 1 according to these guys. In tier 2, we've got Control Warrior, Mech Hunter, Murloc Shaman, which is showing as tier 1 in some lists. Holy Wrath Paladin, which is showing as tier stupid in some lists. So that's why tier lists are never concrete. And Conjurer Mage is down at the bottom of tier 2. So, yeah, as you can see, things have definitely changed. Again, this is last week. And this is this week. So it's good to see that, as expected, things shifted.
Right.
Shut up, phone. Bad at this game. Can I get some bad at this game in the chat, please? But, that's not what we're here to talk about. I just wanted to make sure things did change. Tempo Rogue is, as we knew it, is just gone. Because Prep Raiding Party for 2 mana is not broken enough to matter. Chat can't even bat at this game because chat is bad at this game. Here, wait a minute. Let me do it for you guys. There we go. You guys are the worst. Okay. So, we're going to hit the buffs. Whoops. All right, you ready, Mike?
Yes.
All right, first up, we've got the Gloop Sprayer. Going from 8 mana to 7 mana. What does this mean to you, Mike?
To me personally, nothing really. I don't know if I have in mind to play a druid deck that could make use of this. I think I think if I were for some reason to start up a druid character on Arena, I wouldn't be so I would be a little bit happier to see this come up in a slew of choices, and maybe I would pick it, but I don't know.
Fair enough.
This is one of those things where, and we had talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, when we were just talking together, that you brought it up. This is one of those things where a lot of these might just be small corrections to the mana cost that they had to have them here this way because of the even odd issue when Baku and Gen were still in standard. There were some of these things that they just didn't want to cost at even or odd because they didn't want it to show up in one of those even odd decks.
Quite possibly. And there are some of those a little further down that are like kind of blatantly obvious that was the case. This one, so Gloop Sprayer summons a copy of each adjacent minion, so you want to be able to play it with stuff.
Yeah.
And so at 7 mana, it's a lot easier to drop a 3-drop and then Gloop Sprayer it next to whatever else is already on the board than it is with an 8-drop. So that's good. Also, hey Mike, you remember what Lucent Bark costs?
I don't.
Crap, I don't either. I think it costs 8.
Which one is that?
The legendary.
This is a card I should know. Oh, the legendary. 8 might be right.
Lucent Bark costs 8, yeah. So that means you can now like Juicy Psych Melon to get Gloop Sprayer and Lucent Bark, which is, you know, a combo, because the whole point of running Lucent Bark is to get multiple copies.
Right.
So now you're not casting your Juicy Psych Melon and getting the Gloop Sprayer instead of Lucent Bark and going, damn it! That's the only thing I could think of. But hey, that's something, right?
Right.
So if we move down, next up we have Mulch Muncher, which is down from 10 mana to 9. And this one, I don't know. This is... Oh, also, the Gloop Sprayer is a minor buff to getting a random 8-drop, because you're not going to get this particular 4/4 anymore.
That's a good point.
And that's important for several cards right now. Like, I don't know. What's his name? Astromancer? Yeah. This is a minor buff to 9-drops, because you might get an 8/8 with Rush, which sounds pretty good. It's not as good as an 8/8 with Charge, but it might be the same as an 8/8 with Charge, depending on what you got going on. But I'm wondering if this is just because this thing is not quite getting, like, there aren't quite enough treants dying in time for the Mulch Muncher to matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it might be even more so now, because I've gotten the impression that the token druid decks is less about, you know, casting the spells to make a bunch of treants, and I've seen more that are more like mech and sticky creature based.
I've only seen like one token druid in a while, but I think that's the only druid I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I did run into some sort of Witching Hour big ass Witchwood Grizzly type thing, but
oh really?
I don't know how prevalent that is, because I've still only seen each of those once. But you never know. This being one cheaper might matter, or it might not. I don't know. They restricted themselves. They said they were going to do 2 class cards from each class from the Boomsday Project. So they didn't have that many options if they decided to stick to that. So, whatever.
Oh, you mean they could have just been looking for something to poke at, and this was the only other... They didn't want to change anything else?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's all I can think of.
Maybe.
Cranberry says this is what you gloop spray. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
big difference between having to get Mulch Muncher, uh, like getting Mulch Muncher down to 4 and not being able to gloop spray it. Now doing the same amount of work will get it down to 3, and now you can gloop spray it for that arbitrary amount of work that I just made up. But okay, let's move on to something that matters. Necromechanic. Oh my god, dude. So it was a 5 mana 3/6. Now it's a 4 mana 3/6 in Hunter. Can you think of any other 4 mana 3/6s in Hunter lately that have been kind of awesome?
Um, I know.
I was hoping you would remember his name.
Um,
Shaw. There we
Shaw.
go. Houndmaster Shaw.
There we. Gosh.
And while Handmaster Shaw is more universally good than Necromechanic, a 4 mana 3/6 is nothing to sneeze at. This is better than the Sinjin Shieldmaster, which is the baseline 4 mana 3/5 with taunt, 4 mana 3/6. All right, that's good. But it's the ability your death rattles trigger twice. There are death rattles all over Hunter, and all of them are seeing play right now. So, yeah, that seems good.
Yeah, I'd forgotten this was a card. Like I know I was aware of it at some point.
It's because at 5 mana it sucks.
Yeah, it's like if 5 mana stuff has already happened, and a bunch of you probably have been. What am I trying to say here? You probably already been through one cycle of a bunch of things dying already, so
Yeah.
you missed out on a bunch of potential triggers. But on 4, now you're getting into the spot where, okay, now it's the right time for a bunch of stuff to die. So then you can get benefits from it.
Yeah. I like it. Plus, on 4, it's easier to pair with the fireworks technician, let's say.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I fully expect this card to be a thing.
Does that work? Does that make the fireworks technician thing happen twice?
I think so.
Really?
Because it says trigger target mech's death rattle, or whatever it says.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it says. Hearthstone's weird.
Hearthstone is weird. And then we have, speaking of weird, we have Flark's Boomzooka down from 8 to 7. So it went from laughably unplayable to laughably unplayable for 1 less mana.
Yeah, this card never excited me or interested me, even when compared to the other legendary spells. Like compared to the Boom Ship, it's like, yeah, I get that you have to have the things in your hand rather than your deck, but still.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. Like the fact that they die, I guess you could make it into a feature. Talking about Death Rattle again. But
I mean, I've seen Flark's Boomzooka played in silly combo decks where the whole idea was to try to get something awesome to happen off of Flark's Boomzooka.
yeah,
And they do awesome things when it works, but it doesn't work most of the time.
mm-hmm.
And it's not going to climb the ladder. It's a thing to be doing for the sake of doing it.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, let's just move on. Next up, we have Mage with...
Sorry, I'm not
What?
sure.
Alexa, be quiet. She keeps thinking I'm talking to her. I think she's lonely. We have unexpected results from 4 mana down to 3, which I don't think that matters terribly much in and of itself as far as whether or not you'll put unexpected results in a deck.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is easier to drop like a 2-drop spell power thing and have it survive long enough to have unexpected results on 3.
Yeah.
But more importantly, Since it costs 3, you can get it off a magic trick.
Oh, that's a good point.
And for decks like the Cyclone Mage that already run Magic Trick and probably wouldn't mind having extra dudes on the board, seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Early versions of the before they started incorporating the Giants and Book of Spectre, not Book of Spectre, but the Giants and whatnot into the deck, they were running more of the spell power elemental dudes. Yeah. So, it could be that the deck might shift back in that direction. I doubt it because the whole Giants Conjurer's Calling thing is really good, but...
It is very good. But you're right, you can get this from Magic Trick, and it feels a lot better now if it also pops up from other things that give you a random spell.
Yeah. Because spending 3 mana to get 2 random 2-drops...
It's good.
Is a deal, where spending 4 mana to get 2 random 2-drops is the same as if you just cast them, and that doesn't feel as magey.
Right. It just doesn't feel as exciting in general.
Exactly. So, alright, the next mage thing is Luna's Pocket Galaxy, which has gone from hilariously unplayable to might actually be a thing.
Yeah. I think I mentioned this last time. Like, I've had a Luna's Pocket Galaxy in my collection for a while, but I won't even play with it at 7 because it's just too late. 7 is a lot of mana for something that has no effect on the board whatsoever.
Yeah.
But with 5, even if you just play it on turn 5 without affecting the board, you might still be in a position where it's okay. You might be able to get away with not doing anything to the board for 1 turn. But then later in the game, you can actually like do this and something else in the same turn.
Exactly. And this is also really good for random mage spells, and now it's not just dead in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, at 7 mana, you just didn't want to ever cast it. But at 5, you might find a spot to cast it.
Yeah.
You never know.
Even if it's just because you happen to have 5 mana left over after making your other play.
Exactly.
But it's very rare for you to just have 7 mana left over at the end of your turn.
A little bit. Alright, shall we get to the mistake? Alright. We have Christology in Paladin. Just gone from 2 mana, where it was perfectly fine and good and playable and awesome, to 1 mana, where it's gotta be busted, right?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, see?
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, in the decks that run Christology, Christology is like one of the best cards in the deck.
Oh, wait, crap. It says 1 attack, not 1 cost. I've been reading this card wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, like, I
You
have a
get
deck...
Magic Carpet. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Dang it.
I hadn't even thought of that, but...
But, of course, if you're playing Magic Carpet, your deck is clogged up with a bunch of other 1 attack things, so it won't get Magic Carpet every single time.
True.
But still. Ugh.
But, like, I have a Paladin deck right now that runs Galvanizer, Glowtron, the 1/5 taunt mech with magnetic, bronze something.
Right.
And on 2, I don't really want to cast Christology by itself because, you know, on 2 I want to be putting something on the board. But on turn 1, yeah, hell yeah, do it. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. Even Kibler was like, I don't know, man. Christology's already super good, and they're making it cost. Because what's the biggest mana change? Well, from 0 to 1, obviously, is the biggest. But the next biggest is from 1 to 2. Like, that is massive. And this going from 2 to 1 is the inverse of massive. It honestly wouldn't surprise me if they reverse this in the future.
At some point, it's very possible.
Like, luckily it's not call to arms, it just puts them in your hand.
Yes,
Because
thankfully.
call to arms was busted and stupid.
Call to arms is based on cost, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I think that's why I misread Christology.
probably. But, and this is one where I'm almost certain this costs 2, because that makes sense, but apparently they don't think that's the case. So I'm almost certain this costs 2 because they didn't want Odd Paladin to have this.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Yeah.
No. And yeah, Glubbyrox points out, Paladin is very bad right now. Not if you know what you're doing. And I know this is a bad example, but like Kibler played his Mech Paladin deck to Legend this season. But granted, you could give Kibler like a busted arena deck and he would get it to like rank 3. But that means it's possible. It's possible. And that's with Christology costing 2. So now the other thing that I'm not sure if this had anything to do with Gin and Baku, we've got Glowstone Tech, who is down from 6 mana to 5 mana.
Mm-hmm.
And at 6 mana, he's okay. He's pretty okay.
Yeah.
But at 5 mana, a +2/+2 hand buff is really big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was the first epic that I just opened 2 of from Boomsday Project, without crafting any. But I was really reluctant to play it. I mean, that's a super exciting effect, especially for me, because like pretty much almost all through the time Mean Streets of Gadgetzan was in Standard, I played a Paladin deck that was full of hand buff effects, like in some form or fashion. So I love this stuff, but 6 is just a lot, and it didn't fit into other decks I built, and of course it didn't fit into Odd Paladin, which I just started playing because it kind of got to the point where it's like, what's the point of trying anything else? If I need to finish up a Paladin daily quest, I need to pick one that'll win a game. But yeah, 5 is so much more compelling.
And it's way better that's what I was just looking up. Bronze Herald costs 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, the 3/2 that when it dies you get 2 4/4 dragons in hand.
Yeah.
So at 6 mana, that was way far away. Like, you play your Bronze Herald, it's probably going to die. If not, you're probably going to trade it into something. But then you'd still have to wait 2 more turns to be able to play your Glowstone Technician.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you can play it on 3, trade it on 4, do other stuff on 4, like, I don't know, a True Silver champion maybe. And then on 5, just Glowstone Tech and buff your dragons and whatever else is in your hand. Glowstone Tech also goes really well with Christology.
Yes.
Because you know
Yes,
what's
it does.
great? Is casting Christology, getting a Glowtron and a Galvanizer, and then buffing them both +2/+2. So you, for 2 mana, you get big ass. So yeah, that's good. It's not great. It's not busted, but it's good. Alright, let's go to Priest. Priest is also struggling right at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's going to be struggling for long, because extra arms and more arms as well, is going from 3 mana to 2 mana.
Yeah, I mean, extra arms and more arms already feels really good.
Excuse me. It's, So, turn 1. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes.
What do you do on turn 1 in Priest?
Northshire Cleric.
Yup. What do you do to a Northshire Cleric on turn 2?
Uh,
You make it a 3/5.
oh, yes. In the future, yes. Nowadays, I don't know, power word shields. It's like, I don't know. But yes.
Yeah.
It's funny, this is kind of basically a precursor to the twin spell thing.
Oh, hey, it is, isn't it?
Mhm.
Huh. And Pinball Witch threw 10 bits for extra arms and 10 bits for more arms.
Nice.
Oh, Stark said... I'm sorry, Stark. Stark said on turn 2, you hero power and emote. My bad. Huh. So yeah, extra arms. I really think that this is powerful enough by itself to cause some sort of tempo priest deck to at least be tried. It might not have a long game that can do things, but damn, like a 3/5. The next turn you do something on 3. It doesn't even matter. And then what if you play a 4/7 on turn 4? Remember that card that is super big and powerful and hard to deal with that nobody plays because Priest sucks right now? I can't remember what it's called. The Shade Quill?
Yeah, the Shade Quill. Yeah, when it dies, it gives your opponent some life or something.
Yeah. Well, what if you're playing Tempo Priest and you've got a 3/5 on 2 that might be a 5/7 on 3? You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Hinge Clan Shade Quill on 4.
Yeah, and yeah, 2 is really, yeah, a total of 4 mana for a total of +4/+4. That's why can't I remember card names? King's Blessing. That's not right.
Oh, Blessing of Kings. Yeah.
Blessing of Kings. Yes.
Yeah, it's Blessing of Kings
Goodness
spread
gracious.
across 2 turns for the same mana.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a gradual Blessing of Kings. Oh my god. I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, and Blessing with Kings is a card that's worth playing. So
Everything is awful.
so yeah, that you're right. This really could be a meaningful change for Priest.
I think so. I really do. A less meaningful change, though, is Cloning Device. Discover a copy of a minion in your opponent's deck. Down from 2 mana to 1. Meh.
I mean, an effect like this, it just should have been 1 mana anyway.
Probably, yeah.
You're only getting 1 card, and it's pretty narrow what you're allowed to choose from.
But now that Lyra isn't around anymore,
Yes.
this is probably fine. Because I think getting another free spell with Lyra and Radiant Elemental would have just been too much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But now that Lyra and the Radiant Elemental are gone, sure, it's fine, whatever. I don't know if this is a thing that you'll see in any decks unless they just really want to know what you're playing, but
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Next. Oh god, Pogo Hopper. Remember what I just said, the biggest mana drop is from 1 to 0, but the biggest one they're gonna do is from 2 to 1. And so something occurred to me
Yeah.
out of the blue, I think while I was talking to Mike. And it's Pogo Hopper costing 1 doesn't matter. Like, costing 2 doesn't matter. Because the way the Pogo Hopper decks work is you just vomit out giant amounts of Pogo Hoppers and you put more in your deck and then you draw them and then you vomit out more. And it gets massive. And then you die because they can't do anything until next turn. Mike, what happens when Pogo Hopper costs 1?
When Pogo Hopper costs 1, it's a lot easier to combo stuff.
That too. But also, it works with a card that you already mentioned once.
It works with a card that I already mentioned once.
A whole new world.
Oh, the magic carpet.
Yup.
Does that work? Will the magic... Wait, I thought magic carpet was...
Doesn't Magic Carpet say things that cost 1? I think it does.
Yeah.
Because it works in Zoo.
Yeah.
Magic Carpet HS. Yup. After you play a 1-cost minion, give it +1 attack and rush. The problem that the Pogo Hopper deck had was that it could build up a giant board and then just die, like I said, because they don't do anything until next turn. If they all get +1 and rush... that terrifies me.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you go from a silly meme deck that doesn't affect your opponent's board in any meaningful way to a deck that can very meaningfully
Yeah.
affect your opponent's board.
Silly meme deck that clears your opponent's board.
Yeah. So, I'm actually a little worried that Pogo Hopper and Magic Carpet might become a thing. I don't know if that's good enough.
Right.
With the recent nerfs and whatnot. But I mean, we're gonna try it. People are gonna try it. You're gonna see it on ladder once these happen. You know you will. And it's gonna kill you at least once, and then you're gonna be angry. So, yeah, just watch out for the adorable giant murder rabbits. Moving on. We've got Violet Haze. Not to be confused with Violent Haze. That's what Mike goes into when you mispronounce his last name.
Yes, correct.
See? So, Violet Haze is down from 3 mana to 2. Which, honestly, I don't think matters in any way except for getting it off of the random spell lackey.
Mm-hmm.
Because Violet Haze is always one you pick because everything else sucks, and then you feel bad about it. Like, oh,
Right.
fine. But now, Violet Haze for 2 mana is fine. 2 mana, draw 2 cards? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're very specific cards and they might be bad, but it only costs you 2 mana.
I mean, before it was on the level with, well, it was kind of on the level with Burgle, which was okay. And sometimes people play it, sometimes they don't. But right now, there's not a lot of strong reasons, except for like, you know, the Spirit of the Shark, to go after a strong Death Rattle theme in Rogue. So you're not going to see it everywhere. But yeah, 2 mana for 2 random cards is, of course, always better than 3 mana for 2 random cards. Thank you, John Madden. I don't know.
All right, moving on. The Stormbringer and Shaman down from 7 mana to 6. Stormbringer was already pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not like great, but it's pretty good.
That's one that's always fun to get off of a random spell effect.
Yeah, you get it off of Hagatha or New Hagatha. You teach it to your what does she get? Horrors? I think they're
A
horrors.
horror, yeah.
Or whatever. But it's 6 mana. Now it's even better in that capacity for random cards, and it might even be good enough to be a one of in more decks.
Yeah, maybe.
I know there are some decks that use, oh god, like Thunderhead and Voltaic Burst and whatnot to get more little dudes on the board and then cast the Stormbringer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now Stormbringer costs 1 less, so you can combo it with more things in the same turn. Which makes it even better, actually.
Yeah.
You can go from an empty board to having 4 legendaries with both of your Voltaic Bursts and a Stormbringer.
Yeah, you're right.
What does Voltaic Burst cost?
Cost 1.
Oh. Oh, and hero power. I was like, wait, something mattered here. Voltaic burst. Yeah, it costs 1. Okay, so now you can go burst, hero power, and get 5. There we go.
Right.
Which, from an empty board, in an aggro or not necessarily aggro deck, but in a board centric deck, that's impressive. But okay, moving on. Speaking of mistakes, dude, Thunderhead. Come on, man.
Thunderhead is already good.
Thunderhead is already
strong.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's going from a 4 mana 3/5 to a 4 mana 3/6.
5 toughness is already difficult enough to up and deal with. You know, we were talking about that with the evil miscreant.
Yeah.
The difference between 5 and 6 is still meaningful.
It is. And yeah. Now, Pinball Witch pointed out Thunderhead is already good, but Shaman isn't. And to that I say, with the recent nerfs, Shaman has moved up. So I don't think you can say Shaman isn't good anymore. You can say Shaman isn't the best, but that okay. But Shaman's pretty good now, at least in this first week after the balance patch. So, we'll see how this plays out. I expect that I'm already sick of seeing anytime Thunderhead hits the board. I'm like, I am pretty sure that's going to happen more frequently after the buffs. Buh. Alright, so moving on to a Warlock. We've got Spirit Bomb, which is down from 2 mana to 1 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess puts it on par with Soulfire.
Yeah, essentially.
So cool. This is one of those that, like, I don't care, but this might mean it sees more play.
Mm-hmm.
Because at 2, it's kind of, But at 1, what's 4 damage in Warlock? Granted, these days, that's a lot more than it was when we had more heals, but still.
Right.
So I think this is just overall pretty good. And then we have this I'm actually happy about. Dr. Morrigan was an 8 mana 5/5. Now she's a 6 mana 5/5. And her death rattle is swap this with a minion from your deck. So before, paying 8 for a 5/5 feels bad, and then getting a random minion from your deck, well, feels bad.
Yeah.
But at 6, in a deck that runs Dr. Morgan, you've probably built your deck with more big things in mind.
Right.
So this is probably way better. It's like almost a Cairn. Cairn?
Right.
Karen. So that's cool. Also, this is a major buff to random 8 mana minions. Like, losing Dr. Morrigan is so sweet in the 8 mana slot. And actually getting a random 6-drop Dr. Morrigan, that's pretty good too. That's a buff to 2 random minion slots.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Also, Dr. Morrigan was also my free legendary with Boomsday, and I was also not happy. So, cool. Alright, last class, we have Warrior. And I don't even know, man. So, Security Rover is up from a 6 mana 2/5 to a 6 mana 2/6. Which, I think this just increases your chances of getting one more mech out of it.
Yeah, and this is another one of those things where it's already difficult enough to deal with. That one toughness is going to matter enough. It's going to matter in enough situations that it's going to get aggravating.
Yeah. And the majority of the time, you get this from your Omega Assembly or your Dr. Boom Hero Power, the delivery drone.
Right, yeah. It doesn't actually go in your deck.
And it was already pretty good with both of those. You're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Security Rover, cool.
Yep.
But as a 2/6, now it's, oh, Security Rover, cool. See the difference? It's a subtle but important difference. But, like, I think if you're already usually getting 2 mechs out of your Security Rover, you probably have a better chance of getting 3 now.
Right. Mm.
Or if you're usually only getting 1, you've got a better chance of getting 2. Just because that extra point of ass, as we've discussed several times already this stream, is just better. And the final buff is another warrior mech, the Beryllium Nullifier, a 7 mana 3/8, is now a 7 mana 4/8. And this is another one of those cards that is good off of random mech effects.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. It's not like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, ooh, I'll take the big guy. At least that's what I say
Mm-hmm.
when I get this off of Omega Assembly or Delivery Drone. Because you can magnetic it onto something stupid, and that something stupid is no longer stupid.
Yeah, that's the best part. It's super great when you get to use the magnetic.
Like, on a microbot? Oh, my God. I'm a 1/1. No, bitch. I'm a 4/9. Now I'm a 5/9. What? So, yeah. I mean, it's not a major buff, but it's a minor buff that matters enough to matter, if that makes sense. Did that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Like, it's important enough to make differences here and there. Unlike, say, I don't know, Violet Haze.
Right. Having that extra point of power actually would make me feel better about playing this when I can't use the magnetic.
Yeah. Very true. Plus, it kills, like, once you have Dr. Boom out, it's a more effective removal spell.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you do with the Beryllium Nullifiers. You get it off of Dr. Boom, and if you can't magnetic get onto something, then you just play it and rush it into something.
Mm-hmm.
And now it kills more things. Hey! So those are the buffs. We also get one new card, which we haven't talked about yet. And that's Snip Snap. That's how you pronounce it. Oh god. A 3 mana 2/3 mech with magnetic and echo and a death rattle of summon 2 1/1 microbots. So, and everyone, if you log in during this event, you just get a golden Snip Snap. Here, I got you the Snip Snap. You'll like this Snip Snap. It's free. And this is a really good card because it has magnetic and echo, which are two things that I don't think should be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pump spell with echo. What do we have that does that? The bell? That's it.
Sound the bells. Ooh. Abusive Sergeant when you have out Glinda.
Right, I forgot about that one.
But yeah. Now there
This
was
is a lot better than a bell.
quite probably, yeah. Now there was a problem with this because there was an inadvertent one-turn kill where if
Yeah, like a turn 5 1-turn kill.
Do what?
Like a turn 5 1-turn kill too.
Yeah, so the ideal setup is to play the 4/4 with stealth mech, the copper tail whatever, because it has stealth, so it's hard to kill. And then next turn you play, and this is in priest, you play the reckless experimenter,
Yes.
which says your things with death rattle cost 3 less. So now this costs 0, and you just magnetic it onto your guy forever, and until it gets massive, and then you hit him in the face. That was it, and that's not Magical Christmas Land. That's just having 3 cards that are in your deck. So yeah, but luckily, Blizzard realized this and made a change. Now, the way I have this cropped, you can't see it, but it says, whoops, we're going to fix it. They're changing Reckless Experimenter. So it says, Death Rattle minions you play cost 3 less, but die at end of turn. Cost can't be reduced below 1. So that fixes the OTK. Now it's just big.
Right.
But you run out of mana. So it's not... You can't just beat down your Control Warrior buddy who's at 40. Thank goodness. So yeah, and this was posted on Reddit by community manager Chris Attalus. Which you can't see, but yeah, I can't scroll up any higher. But yeah, so that's good. They fixed the OTK without having to change Snip Snap, or without having to go put in crap in the rules that you can't see on the card, or anything like that. They just added a clause to Reckless Experimenter, which is good because things that cost 0 are always a problem.
Always.
You think they would have realized this by now. But yeah, rather than changing Snip Snap, it's the equivalent of the Dark Ritual problem. Dark Ritual, pay 1 mana, get 3, isn't the problem. It's all these 3 drops in black that are the problem. But in this case, they went straight to the source, and we're like, no.
Right.
You are too good, stop it. And there's the nerfs, which is why this is a nerf report, technically, and I don't have to make a new playlist on YouTube.
Excellent thinking.
Thank you. So yeah, this is all part of an event that happened. It's called Rise of the Mech. It's going to happen starting June 3rd and run to July 1st, it looks like. And also, this is the kickoff of a new arena season. So the new arena season will be basic and classic. Hang on. Goblins versus Gnomes, the Grand Tournament. What the hell is that? Oh, wait, I've got a list right here. What am I doing?
Oh, I think I closed it. No.
Okay, here we go. The Grand Tournament, Karazhan, Boomsday Project, Rise of Shadows. Why does Karazhan... Oh, because Karazhan didn't have packs. This was the last of the normal...
Yeah, Karazhan was an adventure.
Yeah, the old adventures. So it didn't have packs, so they had to make this little symbol. Got it. It took a second. I was like, what? So yeah, if you're an arena player, then there you go. You get a new arena format. Sick. And that, as they say, is that. What do you think, Mike?
Exciting changes. We will need to watch out for Pogo Hopper. We will need to watch out for Christology.
Tempo.
The others, yeah. But I think we want. Yeah, you'll need to watch out for that, but I don't think in a bad way. If that makes sense.
Oh, you mean as far as accidentally breaking things?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
As far as accidentally being miserable. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think a 3/5 on turn 2 is going to make me pretty miserable. Because my opponent will be the one doing it.
Well, I mean... I was about to say, well, we used to have, Velen's Chosen giving a 3/7 on turn 3, but I'm like, that was pretty miserable too.
Yeah, it was.
So let's not think about that.
Yeah, let's not.
But anyway, all the other changes are just making cards slightly more interesting.
Yes.
Maybe not the Boomzuka, but that has its own problems.
Yeah, basically everything else is just a tweak that might make a change here and there, or it might not. But yeah, Necrom. I think the ones to look out for, as far as things that are gonna make a splash, at least as soon as the patch hits, we're gonna have Necromechanic, Christology, extra arms, probably Pogo Hopper, at least in the first week. Like Thunderhead. I wonder if Dr. Morgan will be good enough to make like Handlock come back.
It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I'm excited. Because anything that shakes up the meta, I'm cool with. All right, so we done then, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Was that a good nerf report? I think we reported a buff. No, there was a nerf. I think we reported on the nerf and all the buffs.
Yes.
So yeah, with that, we will be done. So thank you all so very much for joining us, and thank you, Mike, for joining me, of course.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
And go play some Hearthstone.